6 is underway with the Skybet Supreme Novices Hurdle over the extended 2 miles, and racing down towards the first of the 8 flights of hurdles. Sober Glory has touched down out in front and leads the way from Old Park Star, and each to their own is handy in third in those light green sleeves. Mighty Park is behind him in the green and gold hoops. With the black jacket is Mydaddypaddy. To the inside of him is Talk the Talk in the 2 shades of green. El Kairos is next in the dark blue and white, ahead of 2 Bossy for Us in the white and pink. More towards the inside is Sageborough with the red cap, followed between horses then by Baron Noir, and tucked in at the back of the field is Cocktail Brute as they come and take flight number 2. Once again, they're all safely over and now begin to swing then out into the country, being led by Sober Glory as they come up by it. Sober Glory from Old Park Star in second, each to their own is racing along in third. Mighty Park is next in fourth. The length behind him is Mydaddypaddy. Then Talk the Talk to the inside of El Kairos, and behind those 2 to the outside, 2 Bossy for Us is now the mount of Paul Townend. Followed into the corner then by Baron Noir and Sageborough to the inside, and Cocktail Brute the back marker in those maroon and white colours. Racing into the far side then and approaching flight number 3. And it's Sober Glory who leads from each to their own at Old Park Star. Then came right in behind him in fourth, Mighty Park. Another length and a half then to Mydaddypaddy from Talk the Talk and 2 Bossy for Us. These are then followed by Baron Noir, Kairos just in front of him. Cocktail Brute has now relegated Sageborough to be the back marker. On their head towards flight number 4, Sober Glory leads by 3 parts of a length. Over in second, Old Park Star, each to their own, and Mighty Park is sharing third. Then Mydaddypaddy is back in fifth from Talk the Talk, who made a slight mistake there. El Kairos there towards his outside, then 2 Bossy for Us and Baron Noir. From Cocktail Brute and Sageborough is the overall trailer. They race then towards flight number 5 as they start to climb over on the far side, and it's Sober Glory who leads by a length over Old Park Star in second. Mighty Park each to their own close up. Then Mydaddypaddy and Talk the Talk. Behind him is El Kairos, and then 2 Bossy for Us and Baron Noir. Still towards the back of the field is Cocktail Brute together with big outsider Sageborough as they begin to make that left-handed corner, and they'll soon be heading downhill. They've now just got the 3 more flights of hurdles left to take, and it's Sober Glory who's on the front end under Ben Jones. From Old Park Star in second, back in third, each to their own ahead of Mighty Park. Then Mydaddypaddy and Talk the Talk's behind him from Baron Noir and El Kairos as they race over 3 out. Sober Glory landed in front by about 2 lengths to Old Park Star in second. Each to their own is next from Mighty Park, and then there came Mydaddypaddy and Talk the Talk has been ridden along. Then Baron Noir and El Kairos is now trying to move into it. This is 2 from the finish, and Sober Glory still there at the head of affairs. Sageborough, when well beaten, has fallen at 2 out. They're on the run towards the home bend, and it's Sober Glory who will lead them in. Sober Glory by 2 to 3 lengths on the turn towards home. From Old Park Star in second, Mydaddypaddy back in third, then Baron Noir and El Kairos coming down towards the last. Sober Glory, he's in close. He made a bit of a mistake, all right, but he still leads. From Old Park Star and Mydaddypaddy, they're battling away behind. Sober Glory's all out. Here's Mydaddypaddy. Old Park Star to the near side, and it's Old Park Star who's coming home best of all to win the Supreme. Old Park Star the winner, tight for second, involving Sober Glory and Mydaddypaddy, clear.
Must be a very satisfying way to start the festival with the winner in the Supreme, Nico de Boinville, on board Old Park Star, initiating a 1, 2, 3, 4 for the British as well, which I'm sure hasn't escaped you. Talk me through the race.
It was very straightforward with him. The fractions were incredibly solid. I thought it was an end-to-end gallop, which sort of suited the ground we were riding on, I suppose, so it was a well-run race. Yeah, and I thought I was in trouble coming down the hill, but in actual fact, once we turned up the hill and he hit the rising ground, he's then got into gear and off he went.
And when did you start to feel confident?
Going to the last, really. But I've missed the last, and I thought I was going to wing it. But it didn't seem to matter. He then sort of stayed on, so that was great. I think he's going to be a really nice horse going forward in over fences. You know?
Yeah, I think that's some understatement, isn't it? How about the scrimmaging, the coming close together? I know you're due in the stewards' room any moment.
Yeah, no, I've just felt it was coming from my inside, and nothing really sort of got to me. So, and he was going away, so I didn't feel that it was going to be a problem. But we'll see what they have to say.
He was well on top in the end, wasn't he? And you mentioned the ground. How would you describe it?
I thought it was good stuff, good in places, but drying out all the time.
Okay. And underneath those silks, you're obviously wearing the Lulamba silks. Surely you're well up for this. It looks like a classic Arkle duel with him and Copec de Boinville.
It does. Not many runners, but that doesn't mean there's not going to be a bad race, so fingers crossed for him.
Okay, well, it's a fantastic start. Many congratulations. I hope you're in here many more times.
Thanks, Lydia. Thank you.
Nicky Henderson has just won his 6th has been with Old Park star Nico de Boinville on board, and I just let her know that Britain had the first 4 home, which has put some pep into your stride as well.
Well, it's nice to be 1 up after 1. That's a good start. I don't suppose it's going to be that easy, but yeah, it's good.
Couldn't have started better. Now, from your perspective, what did you make of the finish? Because he had to be tenacious, he had to be good.
Yeah, I mean, he's been doing everything. Probably still be quite green because if he finished his last 2 runs, he's just gone round on his own. He goes around at a good gallop. It looked if Philip's horse had set a good gallop there too, and you know we had a bit of ground to make up. But he's got a gear as well, and it's nice to be able to do that up the hill. You'd probably say he might look if he get a bit further, but it doesn't need to at the moment.
Nico said just going down here he was wondering, and then he really came and surged back up there.
Yeah, well, I think stamina probably kicks in a little bit there. He stays. You've got to stay well. You're not going to win if you don't. But have a turn of foot and stay, then you've got a good chance.
And you've won this race with different types of horses that have gone on to be brilliant chasers. Altior and Shishkin would spring to mind. And then, of course, the horse we saw earlier parading, one of the best hurdlers of all time, Constitution Hill. What do you think of this horse?
I think he's got an enormous future. He wouldn't, he's not the finished article by a very, very long way. He's a big, quite babyish still, and I think there's a lot of improvement to come. And he looks like a chaser in the making. You'd imagine that's what we'd do, but nothing's cast in stone. He could go, he can do anything. He either stays hurdling or goes chasing. I would expect he'd go chasing. He looks like that.
And what's your inclination about whether we see him again this season?
I don't know. I'd just like to see how he takes it. I say he still strikes us as quite a big baby.
Yes.
But does he need to? You'd love to if he says yes, but we've got 4 weeks till Aintree. But we can have a look-see, and the horse have another nice horse to run tomorrow. So, Act of Innocence is in the Turners. So let's just see how that goes and see if we've got anything to. This horse might have done enough, I'd say, for this year.
And you mentioned Gordon and Sue Hall. It must be very satisfying for you to have got them onto that winner's podium there.
Well, it is. To be fair, as you know, I've only had these 2 horses this year, and it wasn't very difficult. They were very well educated. They jumped beautifully, and I've just had to sort of put the polishing on. But they're lovely horses, and we're very lucky in that score, and they're our future.
Now, with 1 on the board, we move straight on to another Grade 1, the first over fences, and Lulamba. Nico was just saying on the hurdles track, good to soft, good in places. Obviously, it's drying conditions. Yeah. Does that worry you about extra accent on speed up against the likes of Copec de Boinville? Obviously, Lulamba is a very good horse. Yeah,
Copec de Boinville does, and always has concerned me. I mean, you saw what a good horse he was over hurdles last year. We were good over hurdles. I mean, he couldn't quite win the Triumph hurdle. But our guys growing up all the time. They both are. I mean, they look to be 2 highly promising horses, and let's see.
And do you feel he learned plenty from the early stages of the game spirit to be able to hold his pitch better?
I do. We've schooled him a couple of times. He's looked much sharper for it, yes.
Okay. So it's often worked for you, that sort of masterly route to the Arkle. Yeah. Best of luck for being 2 from 2 in a few moments' time.
Thanks, Liddy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Watch live racing now on racingtv.com.